It might have just been because of M. Night Shyamalan's last film, but I wasn't expecting much from Trap. Though, unlike The Watchers, this was at least planned out with more than just minimal thought. Welcome to Sandwich Reviews. I'm the Talking Sentient Sandwich, and I would go as far as to say that this movie was a lot of fun, up to a point. Shyamalan is just one of those directors constantly going through a roller coaster of credibility and success. He was gone with no hope of coming back, but then he made Split, and I didn't love that, but it was definitely a return to form for him. And I wish I could say he just went from strength to strength after that, but he didn't. But it is clear that this movie had genuine effort put into it. Not a complete return to form again, but close enough. And with this being a Shyamalan flick, it's hard not to dissect and overanalyze every little detail in search of future twists. Even before I stepped into the theater, stopping my brain from doing that was practically impossible. And I'm not saying that ruined the experience or anything, but it is something to keep in mind. But aside from that, the initial premise and seeing how the story unfolds is really where the entertainment comes from. Seeing the way this serial killer would connive every situation to his advantage was always fun. However, some of it was set up and written so that this killer would always have an easy out. The majority of those conveniences in the plot I was willing to forgive, but towards the end it does get to be a little too much. That being said, even during its spotty end, Josh Hartnett puts in an amazing performance in this movie, almost to the point of elevating everyone around him. Not that everyone else was bad, but there were some weird lines and stiff acting moments that would have become an issue if I wasn't already mesmerized by the main character. So despite the many flaws that I'll dive right into in the spoiler section, I would still recommend checking out Trap, because I think it was worth the 10 or so bucks I paid to see it. But now, it's time to talk spoilers, because I need to explain what it is that didn't work in this movie. There were some moments of either bad acting or weird choices in the story within the first couple of acts, but most of it did flow together cohesively. The main profiler conveniently repeating exactly what the main character, Cooper, needed to hear right when he put in the earpiece was one of those moments that fell flat, but I think that whole portion of the movie is really captivating. I mean, a trapdoor is introduced and then never comes up again, which is weird, but maybe that was just a red herring. Though, if the filmmakers were going to drop something like that in the narrative, you'd figure it would come back. But anyway, Connor also puts a lot of unnecessary attention on him throughout the movie, but towards the end of the second act, he lies about his daughter battling cancer so that he can get backstage. And I enjoyed the flip he had with the pop star where he pulls her aside and laid out the truth. But that all felt almost rewritten. Clearly not, but I got those vibes. After that, they left the concert and there was a whole half an hour left of the movie. And of the many problems that I had with Trap, the last act is where the film just about fell apart. I understand wanting to take the third act to a different setting, but it was jarringly different. And if the story was going to go in that direction, it should have been changed at the midpoint, though I doubt even that would be a good way to go, because I was well on board to see more concert hijinks and would have enjoyed the movie so much more if the whole thing was set in that one place. Get rid of all the back and forth in the last act, maybe add a couple more scenes with that vendor guy, because he was awesome, and this would have been an all-timer. But it isn't, it's just alright, which kinda sucks. But before I conclude, I want to mention one last thing about the flawed third act, because a lot of focus is taken away from the family and given to the pop star, Raven, or something like that. She shouldn't have been as much of a character, because she was integral to catching Connor, and I would have preferred if that emotional beat was given to, I don't know, the daughter? But what did you think of Trap? Did you have any problems with the story aside from the flaws I listed earlier? Drop a comment and let me know. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for weekly video essays and reviews, and enjoy a delicious sandwich.